guys, Jeff here at MACkite.
And I'm Tucker.
And we're here to kind of step into the Omen Emissary board that I've been able to get on and ride quite a lot lately in some varying conditions. Pretty excited about this board.
Yeah.
It's a board that we've sold previously, but they've added two of the larger sizes, the 66 and the 78 liter. Right here in front of me, we have the 66 liter. Obviously Omen, we've done some videos before on Omen, the board. I believe we talked about the Flux.
Yep.
Compared to the Emissary. We did a comparison between the two. But now I've had some chance to really ride the Emissary a lot in this size. They marketed the larger sizes for light wind winging, and also you can use it for powered out depending on your size, but you can also use it for parawinging, a little more advanced parawinging. But the model itself, also for prone foiling, just because of its sleek surf shape. I mean, it looks a lot like a surfboard. I mean, the shape of it.
The Swiss Army knife can do a lot of different things.
Yes.
That sleek, longer, efficient outline, as long as you don't mind the extra length, is a nice thing to have to get you up on foil. Whether you're a little underpowered or whether you're just riding faster foils and need more board speed on the water, the Emissary delivers. And obviously, you've been singing high praises on the Flux for a long time.
Yes.
As a surfy kind of machine.
Maybe more.
This is kind of a morphed version of the Flux to gain some more length.
And not that we're gonna we already did kind of a difference between the two, but this one doesn't come with straps. But this board, what really stood out to me is it kind of has this little concave, feel very connected to the foil, and the efficiency of this board. For me, I've ridden this board down to like 13, 14 knots, and I've ridden it in 20 plus with 6-foot waves.
Yeah.
Just this past Monday, we had a really good wave day at our local spot, and I got on this board, and if you'd asked me before riding it, a 6-foot board, I'm like, a little longer than I'd want for really riding waves, but I didn't really notice it feeling that big when I rode it.
Yeah, it's light. It's obviously very profiled out, pretty sleek. It slings through the wind pretty cleanly. So it's you don't notice that length, especially because you're piloting it more from the middle of the board.
Yep.
Even as compared to the Flux, which rides a bit more from the tail, being that the tail is wider. This guy, your feet are here. There's only this much room in front of your feet. So it swings around with less effort than you'd think for a 6-foot board.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really kind of blown away. It gets up to speed really quick. It feels very light. You feel very connected to the foil when you're riding it. It doesn't feel, like I said, this is a 66. I would say if you're looking to replace a board that you're currently on in the MIDI range, I would size down. So that's just my personal, I usually ride around a 70 liter board, and this, if I was going to use this more for powered up conditions, which, they marketed this board, if you're looking for more powered up winging, to size down into, like, they have a 35, 44, and a 55 liter. I think 55 would be money for me. However, the 66, if I wanted one board for like summer light winds, I wanted to wing it and not feel too much compromise when it really powers up and I'm riding downwind swell, no issue. Yep. Even surfing, I could do that. And now I'm getting into foil drive. This would probably be a little big, good to learn on for foil driving, but I also think it probably wouldn't hold me back completely if I didn't want to buy another board.
Yeah.
If I wanted to do multiple things and maybe even get into a little prone surfing. I see where this board kind of fits, like you said, the jackknife. It can do a lot of things, but sizing down, personally, I would probably the 55 would be more my sweet spot for this board.
I'm going to take the opposite attitude personally.
All right.
For me,
I like that.
I mean, I've ridden the 55 quite a bit. It was the first one we opened because
I didn't get a chance
that's
to
a
ride
little
that.
closer to the Flux 60, which has been kind of my go-to jackknife ripper board for a long time. After riding them both a lot, I've realized I like the Flux better for me and what I do. Winging predominantly, with some prone, some foil drive, some parawing. And the main reason for that, I like a little bit more width on the
Yeah,
board
this is
to
19.5.
control foils. Yep, and really properly get into a foil. It's thinner, so when you go narrower and thicker, you're losing some control of the foil. You're losing some leverage, some feel. So it's a close one, but I ended up, you know, kind of preferring the Flux 60 over the 55 for me and what I do. For me, if I'm stepping into the Emissary line, it's because I want more length. So usually that means I'm either riding in lighter winds or I'm parawinging. I need that efficiency on the water. I want that glide, that speed
And this has that
to
for
build that
sure.
speed. So for me, now that we've ridden the 55 and the 66 is better for me without question, especially parawing or light winds. And I do like a bit more width on this. Yeah, a bit more real estate, a bit more width on this guy. If I'm going longer, you know, that's okay. I want it to be worthwhile to go longer. Otherwise, I'll just ride the Flux 60, which works great in anything over 14. You know, and it works great parawinging even as long as you're properly powered. So if I'm going to a style like this, where it's more drawn out, thicker, narrower, for me, I'm gonna go bigger to make that difference, you know, justifiable. And for me, I'd even go 78. You know, the difference between the 66 and 78, I'd struggle a little bit parawinging the 66 like I did the other day. If it's a little bit
because I think
mediocre, you need proper power still. 78, you know, that board will keep me at the surface where I can gust hunt around a little bit and build a little bit of board speed, you know, and wait for that gust to come. Whereas even with the 66, for me, it's a little bit of sinking a little bit. It's not wanting to stay on the surface all the time when I'm parawinging. So if I'm going to go 66, why not 78? It's only a little bigger. And then if I'm going smaller than that, I'll probably just go with the Flux.
Right on. I think that's more in line with what I was thinking than disagreeing, because I'm a little lighter than you.
Yep.
Maybe by 20 pounds, even cutting kilos for sure.
Yeah.
But I think weight does have an issue. It does play into part with this board.
Yeah, big time.
You know, this 66 felt like, I mean, obviously, it's got this sweet spot, what I felt, where it was not above the water, but just at water level.
Yeah.
With its length, so it makes it real easy to engage to get back up on.
Yep.
I am not at a point where I could parawing this quite yet. I'm very close, maybe. I'm still in the larger size boards, but if I thought down the road and I wanted to do all of those things, the 66 would be my ticket. If I wanted one board more in powered up conditions, but I like the mini shape with occasional lighter wind, the 55 would be for me. But that's good, the different perspectives.
Yeah, and I'd be pretty happy on a 60 too. This is great for me for light wind winging down to, I don't know, 9, 10 knots. And as long as I have, you know, don't mind waiting to parawing until it's blowing 16, 17, this would work great for me.
Yeah.
But if I want to be able to parawing in 14, 15, I'd want a little bit more board.
Yeah, I think the theme too is, you know, and I'm coming from an angle here of trying to think of one board. You know, I've been, you know, a lot of that, do you want a 2-board quiver, 1-board quiver? I would agree that if you're looking at the Emissary and you're wanting a 1-board quiver, then probably do the size up.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you with that.
Yeah, you won't be too upset if you have just a tiny bit more board on the high end, but if you don't have quite enough board on the low end, that's a problem.
And that's where, you know, I've had a mindset of anything over 510 is too big for charging waves, and I don't think that as much anymore. You got to really define what charging means and what it means in wave riding. You know, there's skill set. The skill set's going to hold you back more the foil you're on. But the shape of this board, really, I've been real excited about it. It's been a board that's caught the attention of some of the local riders I've been riding lately. Like, what board is that? What length is that? Because it does, you know, it has got a little more length than I'm used to riding in powered wind, but it just rides, you know, it handles it real well. So a board that I want to experience a little bit more trying to parawing down the road once I get a little better at it, see if this is enough for me to do.
It will be for sure.
Yeah, and go from
in
there.
proper conditions.
Yeah.
As long as you have a little power in the sail.
Yeah.
This is what we got going on the bottom. Nice soft rails up front, some hull action going on, keep it smooth and efficient. Getting into some harder rails in the back half, help with that release. Deeper chines, big, deep, wide chines, so this thing is pretty hold out all the way back. So that's part of the reason why I like sizing it up a little bit, because this thing, when you put pressure down on it, it's gonna going to sink a little bit
It
more
is.
because of that. So, then the bonus of that, of course, is when you're ripping turns, this isn't going to touch down as much. If it does,
haven't.
it's just going to skim right off.
Nope.
Got a little bit of a kicktail on this guy just because it's got a longer tail. You're going to have your foil, you know, a little further forward. So having that there to help angle that board up and lift off when you're ready gets you going. And
It's ironic you said putting the mast a little further forward, because I did after I rode it a couple times, just a little bit further forward than I normally do with this board. But
don't need all that nose in front of you all the time. You might have your stance a bit more here when you're taking off, and then once you build some speed, you can slide up a little bit, get a bit more neutral on the board.
yeah, and I want to hit on that stance in a moment, but I do like the front of this board. It's not tracky, it's loose, you can slide it where you want.
Yeah.
What you said about you're not when you touch down though, because of its length, it pops right back up, but you don't hit because of how much shine it has, you don't, when you edge it really hard, the board doesn't hit the water.
Yep.
I had one of my best sessions yesterday on this. I stayed on foil and didn't fall in for close to 2 hours. I'm not saying that as I mean, the board just, it was like, I don't know, it just felt so dialed on it, and it's smooth. I was doing some downwinding, doing some local riding, and this board just, I know, you can tell I'm excited about it. But one thing that my input on this board would be the padding. I love how big the pad is. I like the grip of the pad, but it's all black, and occasionally it's hard to find where your feet need to be, especially when you're in conditions. I was on Monday, big waves, and sometimes just a quick glance down. I mean, I can feel it, but with a board with this much real estate and padding, I didn't have any focal points, so I had to look where this white area was, where they blend together for my back foot. And,
Yeah, or okay, here's the edge of the pad.
Yeah, where does my front foot go? I mean, it's being picky, but maybe I can just get a little wax and put a spot where I need to stand. But that was the only thing I noticed. There's just a lot of black and trying to figure out where to put.
Yeah, they could put a stripe in or a slight gap in the pad or something just to give you a bit more reference.
Yeah, for where you put your feet. But other than
that's
that,
nitpicking for sure. One
time.
thing I always like to focus on with any boards from Omen or AppleTree is the quality of the construction coming out of the AppleTree factory in Portugal. Insane, high density, closed cell foam. You can ding this thing, keep riding for the rest of the day. It's not going to take on any weight. It's not going to degrade the core. This is the kinds of boards that you can invest in knowing that you'll keep it for a lifetime if you want to. Yeah. You can pass it down to the grandkids someday and they can ride it. It's a high quality construction. It's not something that loses its spice and breaks down 4 or 5 years down the road.
Nope.
Definitely when you amortize the cost, if you're investing in a board that's good for the long run, it's something I think you'd be really stoked with 10, 20, maybe even 30 years down the road when it's still kicking.
Yep.
Versus a lot of the boards that are unfortunately going to be kind of in the landfill.
Yeah, agree. And it's a board of high quality and fairly light too.
It is.
For its size and for what you're looking at here. It just has that all around fit and finish. So excited to give it a few more rips with the different things I love to do in the water. So.
Yeah, works perfect. I think it fits the need right now. A lot of guys looking for crossover boards that you can wing and parawing, maybe even foil drive. This fits the bill pretty good for that.
Yeah, perfect. Well, there you have it. A board that we sell here in the shop. Feel free to hit us up, give us a chat, give us a call, send us an email. We'll be happy to kind of walk you through what size is best for you after watching the video here. Hope it was a little helpful. A board that I think you won't be disappointed with. Yes.
No, we've enjoyed it a lot. So keep it out there, keep it rolling.
That's right. It's Jeff here at MACkite.
And Tucker. See you later.